Welcome to Roaming with Restless Women, real talk with wise, dynamic women leaders. I'm Julie Noonan, your host, CEO, and founder of Intuitive Wisdom Coaching, and I'm living my dream life. I live and work in my RV, coaching senior women leaders as they navigate corporate politics, family drama, and personal goals to live their own dream lives. These women are restless. They are never done seeking new opportunities, learning, and ways to create value in the world. If you'd like to apply to be a guest, stick around to the end of the show and I'll let you know how. So let's go. Good morning and welcome back to Roaming with Restless Women. Today I have Sarah Karnes with me. Sarah is a certified life changes coach and facilitator for 25 years with the Way of the Heart, where she has helped hundreds to transform limiting beliefs and attitudes so they can revel in who they are becoming. Her approach includes practical tools that shift attitudes, life experience, and humor. Sarah's the creator of a series of Yourself as Your Friend workshops, disarming the inner critic every time for a more kind way of being and learning in this world. As an expert in navigating transitions, Sarah gently and powerfully addresses change from the inside out. Her passion for helping clients realize their courage, confidence, and impact creates a safe and creative space for them to thrive. I personally have experienced a session with Sarah, and it was wonderful. It really helped me last week get ready for the holidays and get ready for hopefully the birth of my grandchild here pretty soon. So thank you, Sarah, and welcome.
Thank you, Julie. Glad to be with you.
So tell me about your career overall and more specifically, how did you get into starting your business in the Way of the Heart?
It started with parenting, which
Okay.
stretched my what I thought was possible in oh so many ways. And I was at a point where I thought I was somewhat managing.
Mhm.
And then I had my daughter, my second child, who had some health mysteries going on.
Mm,
And this was before Google and any of that, where you could at least get an idea of what might be going on.
mhm.
And the traditional medical system wasn't doing it. The blood tests weren't showing allergies, yet there were allergic reactions, interesting, mysterious things.
Oh my goodness.
Cutting to the chase, though, what that did, it really brought out the mother bear in me. And I was really clear, we're not going to put a 6-month-old on steroids, nor
No.
are we going to continue doing rounds upon rounds upon rounds of antibiotics. That's too much for that little system. So through very interesting pathways, I kept talking to people. Who do you know who can help me here, 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 and here? And the interesting part of that was it was totally the mother bear and the universe coming through me because I was way too shy to ask people for help or even say hello to a new neighbor. Uh,
Wow.
so it led me to the Way of the Heart. And through my co-founder there, Kimberly Herkert, or she's the co-founder, I'm not the co-founder of the Way of the Heart, but she is the co-founder. And in our conversations, we were able to really go in and start working with the overall attitudes around parenting that had been inherited from who knows how far back.
Yeah. And so
And
what did you find during that process?
oh boy, talk about being stuck in the limitations. It felt like the line that had come down was basically parenting is something you'll have to suffer through. Eventually, they'll grow up and you'll get over it. And I said, no.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I need way more love. I get that I might not be as warm and fuzzy as the next person, but I need more love and compassion, and these kids need more love and compassion as we navigate in this world, which is always full of unpredictabilities.
Absolutely. And so how did she help, or how did the way of the heart help you to then help your daughter?
Well, part of it was working with what we call field work, and that's what I did a bit of with you, which
Mhm.
literally rewrites where we've got certain stories, beliefs, patterns imprinted, we can rewrite those. And then when
Mm.
we rewrite, we're going down a different pathway than the one we were stuck on. And in that, I also was able to really get in touch with I do know how to really live with more joy, more aliveness, more love, but I forgot it along the way with a handful of hard knocks that I just kind of took on as my burden to bear.
So how did your daughter respond to, I get, did you change your parenting style? Did you do something different?
Well,
What happened there?
there was that along the way, but the initial witness, I was working on myself, and we both know when we fly, we put on our own oxygen mask first before we go to put it on our child or anyone else.
Hmm.
So we really went in with me. My intention as a parent is to have more fluidity, more love, more compassion, more ability to roll with the messiness of parenting. So we started with that intention and always, always, what's the intention? What do you really, really care about? Because otherwise we just want to fix something and things don't always just fix overnight.
Right.
So as we worked with the intention, this was my first session with Kimberly around me and that intention. And I got home and I went upstairs to check on my daughter who was in bed, and she was not wheezing, which had been happening for about 8 weeks, that her breathing had a very consistent wheeze when she slept. I went, oh, she's breathing, and there was a whole different level of full in breath, full out breath, and feeling that deep sleep go on for her.
Wow. And you said that she was your second child, right? Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
And so and so she just maybe was more sensitive than your first child, because
Way
you didn't mention that he or she had.
Well, he had some too, but
Oh,
I
okay.
was fumbling my way through. He came,
Gotcha.
was colicky, did had some food sensitivities, but we kind of, found those, did our food detective work, and it kind of was working.
Uh-huh.
Yet when she came along, her little body was not going to tolerate it.
Oh my goodness. So after once you got into the way of the heart and into your practice, how did you then switch to actually doing the I don't want to say physician side, doing the practitioner side of that?
That was such a great witness because, yeah, there were layers of working through the shyness. At the same time, people, neighbors and friends who I did know said something's different. Did you get a haircut? What's going on? Well, I'm working with something that helps with de-stressing, like not carrying it all, just weighing me down. It also helps with rewriting so that where there was, a specific grudge or difficulty or, I feel like it was such a victim chip on my shoulder.
Mm,
Those bit by bit, as I worked toward embracing love, joy, and aliveness, which I just, as Kimberly worked with, there's an intention process that I work with my clients, and that makes a huge difference because otherwise we tend to stop at the surface level and we don't look at what's underneath.
Mm,
And when we look at what's underneath something, for somebody who's looking for a more healthy, robust financial foundation, what does that mean to them? And often it's freedom. It's
hmm
really valuing themselves. Yes, they need some practical dollars and cents around the financial foundation, yet underneath it, to really stand for that value, for what that freedom means to them, what they want to do
hmm
with that. That's where the power is, because there's a whole different level of really seeking to be the change you want to create.
Correct. And so, what was probably the biggest thing that the most shocking thing maybe that you realized as you were doing the work?
How much judgment I carried, and not to pretend I never get judgmental. Uh,
Everybody does
we
at some
all,
point. Yeah.
but how thick that ran, and certainly not just for me, but it was eye-opening to
Mhm.
see how much. And when I bump up against who knows what these days, to see where the judgment just goes, my whole body tenses. The attitude is trying to blame another for being less than perfect. And it's like, wait a minute. I'm sure they're not perfect, and I'm not either. So, where can I do more of and maybe we talked about this, what we call shadow work, which is embracing that where we've got an
hmm
attitude, a judgment, a criticism, we also have something underneath that we really, really care about that's important to us.
hmm
Can actually redeem the value of that so that the judgment doesn't become the leading note. It might bubble up, but it gets to stay in the background because I'm really standing for compassion here.
Yeah. So when you were going through this process, one of the things um, that you one of the things that you discovered was how quickly judgment comes into play. But you also then, and I'm paraphrasing so that I get this right. So then you notice that, and then you basically course correct by saying no, go in the background. I'm standing for compassion.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
In the ideal world, we just say, stop that. Just like Bob Newhart, right? Stop it.
Okay.
Don't do that anymore. And um, these patterns run deep.
Yeah.
So, as we work with intention, there are often layers. So, as we work with the integration process with the way of the heart, what we do is we actually are peeling layers of the onion.
Mhm.
And I never know. And I'm always surprised and delighted. Things sometimes move in 1 or 2 sessions, like major life obstacles can move very quickly and very, how would I say, without a lot of catharsis.
Yeah.
And I've also seen it where it takes a few years, yet the progress is tangible. That sense of I'm breathing better. I'm looking more kindly in the mirror. My friend who used to be so nitpicky isn't so nitpicky with me anymore. Interesting witness. Because if I'm being different, I'm not, even if they are nitpicky, I'm not going to feel it so personally.
That's terrific. So, what are the biggest outcomes that you see in your clients? What are their big realizations in the clients that you've worked with? Just a couple of examples.
I think of a woman who was in the process of a divorce that was
Mm-hmm.
messy, and without getting into all the weeds of that, really the bottom line was she wanted to stand for her children, for
Mm-hmm.
respecting herself, and her children not having to go through the ringer of all of the drama that was playing out between lawyers. So, as she really got clear on standing for holding her children lovingly, giving them space to have the feelings and the details that were going to go on for them, while also being a mother bear so that
Mm-hmm.
she really could stand for them. I watched her walk out the other side standing so much taller, and she was a petite woman, and I can relate to that because I'm 5'2", which isn't drastically short, but it's shorter than the average bear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was actually 4'10", and she just was walking way taller. And the other thing that happened is when things got messy in court, she found her way to just, it was kind of like martial arts where you just step out of the way and the drama didn't stick so much to her. So it was really beautiful to watch her stand for that. And she's an OB nurse, and as she stands for mamas, it was just so beautiful to see how she really walked that one. And I had we always forget how much we touch other people, yet I had a much clearer sense with her about how she was going to be touching her patients.
So, how did you get involved in becoming a practitioner for Way of the Heart?
People were asking me for help with things. I really did not say I'm hanging out a shingle. So finally, enough people were asking me for saying, I don't know what you're doing, but I know you're a different person and I want some of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay. And then the other piece of it was Kimberly, with our co-founder, said, well, it'd be lovely if we had somebody doing introductory level work in the Chicago area. And I said, oh, sure. And then I went, oh, wait a minute. That means I'm out there doing, a form of sales and
Mm-hmm.
introducing myself all over the place and really, bringing a whole bunch more vulnerability of here I am. Here's what I can offer. May I show you? So after I said yes, I tried to backpedal, but I also realized it just kept bubbling up to say, stop.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't make what you care about more important than I'm too shy, I'm too this,
Mm.
I'm too that, that's not a part of really standing for your aliveness, Sarah.
That's beautiful.
So it's
What
an
a great,
ongoing,
yeah. Well, that's a great testament, I think, to a lot of us out there who might not be shy or introverted naturally, but when it comes to promoting ourselves or promoting something that we firmly believe in, it doesn't necessarily come naturally to a lot of us. We can be as gregarious as anything and still not have that um, confidence. Um, Actually, it's easier. I don't know about you, but it's easier for me to quote unquote sell something that I'm not involved with than
Mhm.
something that I am involved with. Right.
Yes,
So it's very interesting how I almost believe in other people more than I do myself. And I think a lot of people struggle with that.
yes, yes. That can happen for someone else, name the dream or the ideal.
Right.
And definitely one of those that we need to have faith, belief, courage, and confidence here
Mm-hmm.
in who we are and the magic. And one of the things we've worked with within the Way of the Heart is life mission. And one of my favorite exercises, there's so many wonderful ways to work with the life mission and developing our awareness of it because it's already here, but it
Yeah.
needs to be developed. The exercise where we will have three or four or five people, and one person turns their back, and we talk about them in the way that we say, you know what I love about this person is, or you know what I see as their superpower is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating because even if three of those people I've never even met before, we happen to be in the same classroom, but we haven't really met, just from sitting in a circle with them, being with them, I can say, and my one friend, she's become a good friend, but I didn't know her at the time. I said, she has the most beautiful Muppet bobble when she moves that just makes me feel at ease. There was just this light levity about how she moved that was confident and grounded and at the same time lighthearted.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
with our friends, it's really helpful to say, what is it that you see as my superpower, or what is it that I'm good at that I might not be acknowledging or seeing in myself?
The the interesting thing is I have seen similar exercises before with people, and it is amazing how, particularly folks young in their careers, when they're just getting started, when they're transitioning from being a student into the world of work, into the adulting, as they say, and it takes them a while to change that persona or to figure out, okay, I knew who I was as a student. Now I have to figure out who I am as an adult in the working world around all these other mature people who've been here forever and blah, blah, blah. Um, and I don't think that sometimes we give them the time that they need to truly transition, um, or the
Yeah.
mentorship or you know, the
I
confidence.
think it's really both the time, the mentorship, and kind of the space to discover who
Yes.
are, and of course the looking, because we live in a world where beyond there's social media, it's one thing, but also
Yeah.
there are all the outer things they're trying to compare themselves to or measure up to. And
Yeah.
it's not a one size fits all.
No, it is not. But I think when these individuals move into a corporate environment, the corporate environment hasn't already has the cookie cutter shape they want this
Really.
person to just flow into. And when they don't necessarily, maybe they're a square peg and the and the job is a round hole. They don't
Mhm.
maybe necessarily fit right in. And the exact way that the company or the boss or the recruiter or whoever thinks that they should, it can really do damage to a person's psyche when really what we should be, in my opinion, building is here is what we need to get done, as a company. Bring your strengths and bring yourself and bring your uniqueness and help us figure out how to get it done, as opposed to
Yeah.
here's how it's going to be get done. Here's exactly what I want you to do, and and trying to make
Mhm.
someone a carbon copy of the person that was in the role before, you know.
Yes, I so agree with you. And people have such remarkable skills and talents and ways, and what a learning it is to get out of the way, even, the simple stuff, If we look at Thanksgiving holiday, how one person organizes the kitchen or the meal and, walking into someone else's kitchen and saying, what can I do? And then shutting up instead of saying, I probably should do this. And of
Yeah.
course, you want it on this. Oh,
I saw a
you
really
like
funny TikTok along those lines. There's the mom that is kind of having a hard time turning over the duties, to the daughter. In this case, it was her daughter. Now I'm not going to tell you how to do that, but I used to use a whole clove of garlic, stuff like that. Oh, and those are funny. Well, what we're coming up on our time. What words of wisdom do you have for our audience? And then I have three final questions I ask at the end of every episode.
okay. Uh, I would say get really clear and give yourself time and space to reflect on who am I? Like, what is it that I really thrive with in this world? And what do I want to bring to this world? Because that's where we start to follow the real breadcrumbs around who we are and bringing our best to the world.
I think that the whole purpose of life is to create value, and you can't do that if you don't know. If that's your intention, you will be led to create value in some way. Um, that's what I think anyway. I think we also do a lot of navel gazing around who am I and what am I in the world, when really we just need to say to ourselves, what around me needs my help?
Yes, that's
What or
that's the
who?
le
What or
what
who?
do I get to do with this in the world? What do I think the world needs doing? I'm going to
Mhm.
bring my heart and soul to that because I believe in it.
Perfect. So here are my last three questions. The first one, I'll ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to
Hmm.
say a couple of words, and I want you to see what pops up in your mind and then open your eyes and describe. Wise woman.
Mm. Embracing the wise woman who really is within, whether we are 15 or 45 or 75. She's within. Let's own her and celebrate her.
Beautiful. Where do you like to roam, Sarah?
Oh, put me in the woods. Anywhere in nature, and I especially love the Upper Peninsula north of Marquette, Michigan. It is just such a rich forest full of moss and life and sometimes mosquitoes, but I totally tolerate the mosquitoes if I'm in those woods.
Beautiful. And finally, what makes you restless in a good way?
Love that. Great life mission question. What makes me restless in a good way is the places of discovery and experimentation, because all transitions are that. Even if we think there's a specific method of getting from A to whatever your B is, it's going to be an experiment. Play with it.
Hmm.
So that makes me restless when I start looking at those experiments. Restless in a good way.
Yes, I love that. Experimenting with life. I think that's what we're all here to do. It's just have
Yeah, and
fun.
it lightens things up. It
It
doesn't
sure
mean
does.
learn from the experiment or don't do that again, but it does mean I can take it lightly instead of, oh, if that flopped, what a flop am I? It's like, no, 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 not helpful.
So, how can people get a hold of you and learn more about the way of the heart?
Sarah at thewayoftheheart.com. And I also have my site is sarahkarnes.com. And I offer for anybody a 30-minute clarity call where we'll get clear on your intention and what are you looking for, because in that way I'll have ideas for you, whether that's something I can offer or I might send you to someone else who even better fits your needs that way.
That sounds beautiful. Thank you so much. Guys, take advantage and take a look at the website. See what Sarah can do to help you and take advantage of that clarity call if you're wondering about what's next for you. Thank you for listening to with Restless Women. Sarah, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Julie Noonan here. Thank you so much for listening to Roaming with Restless Women. If you're a successful senior woman leader who would like to be on this program, please visit podcast.intuitivewisdomcoach.com. If you enjoyed this interview, please share this episode on social media and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they mean a lot to me, my team, and most importantly, my restless guests. As a special gift to you, our listeners, I offer a free one-on-one 15-minute breakthrough session. Bring a problem and experience how coaching works to see if it could be of value to you. Sign up for an available time on my website, intuitivewisdomcoach.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.